Hi y'all, welcome back to AstroMotivation. My name is JupiterJames, where I awaken the astrologer within you and aim to give you a little motivation and inspiration per your unique placement within your birth chart. You know, I really do feel that before a time of iPhones and iPads, we were a culture and a society that were better able to look up at the stars and understand exactly what the universe wanted from us. And it is with that knowledge that we were able to look down at our birth charts and understand exactly what the universe wanted from us. And so I'm just here to remind you of the innate gifts and the innate knowledge that you already know and that you already have. And so if that sounds good to you, let's get into it. Today we're going to get into Neptune in the fourth house. Now, Neptune in the fourth house is going to give me someone who probably had a very spiritual mother and who today probably also has a very spiritual home, or finds that in order to get into their home, some magical means are necessary, or divine intervention happens when it is time for them to move, or in the way in which they got into their homes. This could give me someone that has Pisces in the fourth house. But before we go ahead and unpack Neptune in the fourth house, let's go ahead and separate the aspects, okay? That way we are better able to do more with the information of each individual aspect than we are to do with Neptune in the fourth house. That way when we see Neptune playing out in the world, we can do more with that information and understand where it is and what it does. And when we see fourth house playing out in the world, we can go, okay, that's fourth house, and we know what it does and what more we can do with that information, you know, if that makes sense. So now, Neptune for me as an astrologer is always going to show me where this person experiences God in their life, where this person relies on higher forces in their life to take place. It could be something that is just out of reach in their consciousness, or it could be something that's a little bit nebulous to the person. They don't quite get it. You know, it could be an area of their life where they just don't quite understand, but they do know that, you know, they leave it to the universe. They go, okay, that's God is going to handle that area. Or whenever this thing happens for them in life, that's where they see magic. That's where they go, okay, wow, there must be a God. There must be. I am better able to explain it like this. I have a friend that is newly dating, right? She's playing the field, she's out there and dating, and she was on the phone with me and she was saying, you know, I like this person, but he's not spiritual enough for me. He doesn't believe in God, and he told me that he didn't believe in God, and I had to stop her and I said, no. Some people aren't so privy to the fact that everyone understands and sees God differently. You just have to investigate where that is. You know, some people feel God and experience God when they're cooking for their family. Some people understand God and see God in the universe when they are doing what they do for their career. Some people see God when they get into a new relationship, or when they fall in love. That's where they see God. And it's not that they aren't spiritual or that they are an atheist. It's just about finding where exactly that person sees God. Some people see God when they're out on a hike. You know, it's just about finding where the person sees these magical ethereal qualities, and that is what Neptune is going to show me in the birth chart. Where do you see, witness God, and where do you sometimes not quite get it and don't quite understand it, but you know that God is handling that area of your life? You're just like, look, I don't get it. The universe is just going to have to take care of that area for me. It could also show me the creative qualities within you. When you do it, you feel very creative, or you just feel very like, it's very nebulous. Neptune is very nebulous and dreamy and just magical, okay? So with the fourth house is always going to be ruled by Cancer and the moon, no matter what your respective sign on your fourth house may be, because that will always change depending on what your rising sign is. Know that the default out of the packaging birth chart is always going to have an underlying layer of Cancer, and the moon is always going to be ruling that house, no matter what your sign is and no matter what planets may be on your fourth house. That's just how there's always just a layer under it that is ruled by Cancer and the moon. And what is that? That's going to signify the themes of your mother, who your mother was. This is the area of life, or in the birth chart, where I see how you and your mother interacted when you were a child. How did your mother raise you? What was the atmosphere of your home growing up, and the atmosphere of your mother? What was her aura like? What was she like with you? The dynamic she was with you. And it's also going to show me how you are now in your private life as an adult away from your career. They call this the IC, the Emilium Coli. I don't really know, I don't like that word. I really don't like that word, but it's called the IC, and it's just gonna signify the private life that you are. When you clock out of work and you get in your car, you go get on the subway and you come home and you turn on Netflix, or just when you're away from work, what is that life that you have built for yourself? That's the fourth house. That's the energy of your fourth house, and the sign and the planets are going to tell me what that dynamic is of the life that you built at home and in your adult life away from work, okay? And it's also going to be about the mother. Now, let's go ahead and mix the two together. Now, with the fourth house in, what is it, Neptune? Neptune in the fourth house is always going to indicate for me, that's going to show me someone who grew up in a very spiritual home. Your mother was also probably spiritual at best, or very creative. She was probably someone very highly creative. She was probably an artist, or someone, she probably, you know, there could be a lot of things with this, because it can mean that she was an artist. She probably struggled with alcohol. She probably loved the good sauce. She was probably absent, you know, physically or mentally. She could be someone who was not quite there. She was there but wasn't there. Maybe her mind was on art. Maybe she herself just wasn't there in the mind. But at best case scenario, she was someone that was very highly creative for you, and probably was very inspirational, and probably was just built the home to be very like sanctuary like, and was very creative in the household, and was someone who probably was aloof a little bit, you know, in some shape or form. She was a little distant, and only because she was probably, her mind was just on other things. She was probably very creative, very spiritual, and was like that with you growing up. Now, as an adult, in your private life and in the homes that you find yourself in, you probably want to make your home very creative and very nebulous. You probably have crystals and little trinkets around your home that make it a very creative home for you. You probably are always playing music. You are someone who is also probably spiritual in your own private life, and you are also maybe now somebody who is a little aloof. When you clock out of work, people don't quite know where you are or where you go, but you are at home being creative, maybe drawing or singing or playing music or taking a bubble bath somewhere, and that is who you are in your private life now. And sometimes when you move, like say it's time for you to pack up your home and find a new place for you to go to, sometimes that can be very tricky for you. Sometimes it could be an area of your life that makes you very anxious, and you're just like, I don't want to move, because every time I move, I don't know where I'm gonna go, or it's very hard for me to get into that next apartment for whatever reason, and I don't like it, because it's a very, I just don't like moving. I don't like moving from home to home, because I know when I do move that it's just gonna be very tricky, and I don't like that. And it can mean for you that when you do move, let's just, I'm gonna throw out an example here for this, okay? With Pisces, not with Pisces, with Neptune in the fourth house, you could be someone that probably has bad credit, right? I'm just throwing out a scenario. Or you don't have the money requirements for an apartment or a home or whatever, right? And when you do go out and you find the home or the apartment that fits the criteria in which you could do, you probably have to rely on a lot of faith. You have to like be very creative in the way that you find your next home that you're gonna land in. And when you do get that home, you know that it was nothing but the universe helping you out. You see what I mean? That like Neptune is gonna give that thing where it's hard to grasp, but it's hard to grasp because that's where the universe and the higher realms are trying to communicate with you, to show you that there is a God, that there is a universe assisting you in some shape of your life. And this could be that area of your life that spirit communicates with you in. You know, it can be when you are at home and everything is finally okay, and you throw on Netflix and you cuddle under your covers, that you go, wow, you know what? There must be a God, there must be a universe, because I'm okay. I'm finally in a home that is mine, and like, this feels good, this feels right. Wow, like there must be a God. You see what I'm saying? Like, you find God in your own private life and doing your own thing, and in probably moving from home to home. And your mother was probably like that as well. Like, her mind was probably on such bigger things that it made her distant from you, only because her mind was on something else, whether it was her career or her job or her life or her creativity or her art. But she was distant only because her mind was on the same things that you're probably experiencing today, which was her mind was on spirit, her mind was on God, or how her next venture was gonna pan out or play out. But yeah, that is Neptune in the 4th house. I do know you're gonna be very dreamy, very creative in your home. You're gonna want your home to be very, very just like your sanctuary, you know? It heals you in a way. It's how you experience God and magic in your life. It's probably where you do magic. If you were to do little spells around your home, or do magic from home, or you probably like to search for videos like this at home, things that again are very spiritual for you. You like to look for things at home, in the comfort of your home, that connect you to the universe. This is where you experience it, in the comfort of your home, okay? It's probably where you are your most creative, is when you're at home. You probably don't exude those energies out in the world or in your career. You probably keep those things to yourself at home. You keep your spirituality and your creativity to yourself at home. That's when you get to be your most creative, is when you're at home. You probably do piano at home. You probably like to learn guitar at home, you know? But that's gonna be Neptune in the 4th house. Continue to have faith, okay? Continue to be someone that is creative in your home, and it is only gonna make and foster for you to be a very well-rounded and creative human being. So try your best to do things that cultivate your spirituality at home. Maybe read spiritual books, do little seances or magic from the comfort of your living room. Do things like that really induce that, and you will find that luck happens in your favor, because it is only when we satisfy the planets that we get the best results, okay? When we do the things that we are meant to do based on what is in our charts, that's when magic happens. You know, I like to call that satisfying the planets, is when you do the thing in the specific area of your life that the planets are pointing to, and you don't reject them, or you don't, you know, say, oh, I'm not gonna do that. It will probably be by you being creative at home that you come up with this new painting or this new thing, or you find a new skill from you cultivating at home that now you can show off to the world, and it makes you a lot of money. You see what I mean? So cultivate that. Don't run away from that. It can give you only good results when you satisfy the planets, okay? But if this sounds like you, let me know. Write down in my comments if this sounds like you. Also, while you're at it, let me know the sign that your Neptune in the 4th house is in, and that will show me a little bit more of the dynamic with your mother was and how you are at home, because remember, these are general videos, and there's no way that I could hit the nail on the head for every person out there in the world, okay? So feel free to write down in my comments what your sign is, okay? This is a very fun, awesome community that we have, that I'm building right now. And so let's just get into the habit of communicating with each other. I really want to be the type of YouTuber that you guys feel comfortable talking to for real. Like, I will always try my best to write back to you guys, and I'm not gonna be one of those YouTubers that just is like aloof and never writes back. I really want this to be an exchange. I really want you guys to feel comfortable coming to me and asking me, hey, what does this mean and what does that mean, okay? So write it down in my comments, and I'll let you know. I'll give you 2 little sentences on what your sign in the Neptune in the 4th house could be for you and what you could be experiencing. But overall, I really do hope that this video gave you some inspiration, some motivation, and some clarity within your unique placement, okay? Everything is intentional and purposeful and always working in your favor. If only we knew where those favors were happening. But I will see y'all on the next video, all right? Y'all have a great day. Bye.